I found the best mechanical keyboard for Mac users, and it's the Keychron K2 V2. I've only ever used Apple Magic keyboards before, and I wanted something that was a little bit more customizable, felt and sounded good when I used it, and also something that just suited my space a little bit more. So I ended up finding the Keychron K2 V2. I saw a lot of Instagram posts on it, and I also saw a lot of reviews on YouTube about it, so I wanted to pick it up myself and give my honest thoughts on this keyboard. The K2 V2 starts at around $71, which is quite a competitive price point for a mechanical keyboard. Not only can I use this keyboard with my Mac, but I can also use it with my PCs, which is really, really awesome, and you can literally do it at the flick of a button. A lot of mechanical keyboards today are designed for PC first and Mac second. So a lot of mechanical keyboards don't even have this row up here. It just goes straight to the numbers. And that's what I admire about Keychron. They've made their keyboards Mac first and PC second. The K2 V2 has 84 keys, so it's a 75% size keyboard. There's a Mac function row at the top and a row to the side. The K2's clean, minimal design suits a lot of different spaces. There's a choice of plastic or aluminium when you purchase, and I opted for the plastic because I liked the look of it better, but the aluminium also looks really cool too. The keyboard comes with these stock grey keycaps with a little pop of orange that looks amazing, and I actually really like the standard keycaps. There's a choice of RGB backlighting or a white only backlight. I went with the RGB backlighting because it just looks amazing. With the RGB version, there are 15 plus looks, and you can change these by pressing this button at the top right-hand side of the K2. Just to give you an idea of how bright the RGB in this keyboard is, I put some pudding keycaps on and they look amazing. The K2 V2 is a little bit thicker and taller than some mechanical keyboards, so I have seen some people online complain about wrist strain. I personally haven't had this. Keychron actually sell a wrist rest though if you would like to purchase this, which does help with some of that strain, which is great. The K2 V2 has a kickstand with 2 different settings with different inclinations. In terms of switches, there's choice of brown, red, and blue Gateron switches, each with their own sound profile. Brown has a gentle structure, so medium sound. Red, linear structure, has a quiet sound. And blue has a clicky structure with a clicky sound. I ended up going with the red Gateron switch because I really liked the sound profile for the switch. It's got more of a quieter sound, like a quiet hollow sound, I would describe it as. The switches are really responsive and feels so nice to type on. Now it's important to note that there are hot swappable and non-hot swappable versions of the K2 V2. I actually own the non-hot swappable version, which means that I can't actually change the switches down the line if I want to, so I'm stuck with the red Gateron switches. This is a bit of a pain, and looking back, I probably would have gotten the hot swappable version of the K2 V2, just so I can switch those switches out and have something a bit more customizable down the line. There's so many switch options, and I feel like I'm kind of missing out on that. And also, if one of the switches breaks as well, which can happen, I don't have to go in and solder the keyboard. I can just simply switch that switch out, which would be super useful. So if you're gonna pick this up, I would definitely recommend getting the hot swappable version. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's gonna save you down the road. The K2 V2 has Mac and PC functionality. You can change from Mac to PC keyboard layouts from the side switch. You can pair up to 3 Bluetooth devices with the K2, and all you have to do is hold down the function key and press 1, 2, and 3 buttons. If you're a non-competitive gamer, you could use this keyboard, but I personally wouldn't recommend it for competitive gaming because of the latency. Even using the USB-C cable, there is noticeable latency. Inside, there's a 4000 milliwatt battery. If you're using the RGB, you get around 100 hours on the battery and 250 hours with the RGB off. All in all, the Keychron K2 V2 is an amazing mechanical keyboard for Mac users that are wanting to dip their toes into the mechanical keyboard world. I've really enjoyed using this and learning how mechanical keyboards work and just the whole world. Like, there's just so many things to learn about mechanical keyboards, and I feel like this has just been such a great starter keyboard for me to kind of get into that. I would definitely recommend picking one of these up if you're looking at getting a mechanical keyboard. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next one.